So a brand new trailer just dropped for the latest game by Scott Cawthon. Well, let me pause here for a second. Scott is not actually developing the game. However, this is an official release of Five Nights at Freddy's. This is going to be an official Into the Pit game, and it looks absolutely insane. There's obviously been a leak going around the internet, and we're gonna go ahead and take a deep dive into that trailer. But first, let's go ahead and talk about how absolutely insane this is going to be for the FNAF community, seeing as it is releasing, or at least being developed by a studio called Mega Cat Studios. Now, Mega Cat Studios has obviously taken on some big projects in the past, including some big names like Monopoly, Power Rangers, and a few others, just to name some. But coming out with an official FNAF game is a whole nother level of fandom, and they are going to be taking on what looks like an 8-bit version of the Into the Pit story. And Scott himself said that the development of this game actually took a really long time, and he's really proud of the final product, and it should be out just in time for the 10th anniversary. And it was released by Scholastic a little bit earlier in the day that an Into the Pit game would be coming out soon, so it was only a matter of time before the leak started to come out. And thankfully, Scott was kind enough to allow us to go over the trailer. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the trailer itself, do an initial reaction, and what it means for the future of FNAF and the game in general. Alright, so here we go at Jeff's Pizzeria, which is just a futuristic version of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, believe it or not. And there is the creepy looking 8-bit version of Spring Bonnie pulling us in to the pit that was left behind, which really serves as a haunted portal between the future and the past. Now, there's our little buddy here as he looks to be sneaking into the pizzeria. Probably looking around Jeff's Pizzeria, or maybe he went back in time, I'm not 100% sure. What were you thinking hiding in that nasty old thing, didn't you? Oh my god! Oh my god! Pit Bonnie has just killed the maintenance man. And okay, good. Let's hide in the spring-locked suit. Okay, we're in. There's Pit Bonnie. Does it? Uh-oh. I think he's noticed. I think he's noticed that we're in the suit. This is not good. Oh, wow. That is absolutely terrifying. Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the official trailer for the Into the Pit 8-bit game, and it is confirmed to be 8-bit based off the trailer that we just saw that was leaked. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you, things are going to be absolutely insane. The game itself is confirmed to be 8-bit. Obviously, you can tell that by the trailer, and it looks like the story could be canon to the events in Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, Scott has already kind of touched on this in the past, saying some of the books could be canon, but this really makes things a lot more interesting. Now, if you don't know the story about Into the Pit, I can give you a brief synopsis. I obviously didn't read the book myself, but I hang out with an absolute nerd like Daco, and he's kind of explained it to me. Basically, Jeff's Pizzeria is a futuristic version of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, and this ball pit was left around from the old restaurant. Now, this ball pit is haunted, or has some type of remnant, they say, that allows you to go back in time into the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria version of the building. Now, this boy goes into the ball pit, stumbles across the murders that happened at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. However, when he goes back into the future, the Pit Spring Bonnie that you see here in the game and the one in the book makes his way back into the future as well, terrorizing the people and, of course, wreaking havoc. So this is going to be really interesting in a game form. There's going to be a lot more story, I'd imagine, to it. And, of course, just maybe we'll be able to see what exactly is canon and not canon. But the big question here is, how does this relate to the Five Nights at Freddy's story in general? This whole thing could throw off the timeline. However, seeing it as is just a spin-off story of the future, I guess it couldn't mess up things too much. One thing's for certain though, this is definitely exciting news, especially since the 10th anniversary is coming up really soon, and we have been looking for something just like this, and we just didn't know exactly how Scott was going to do it. But this is amazing, and actually opens up the next question as to what other stories could Scott bring to life in not only just an 8-bit form, but a game in general. And now with this new studio involved, things could be really interesting for Mega Cat Studios, seeing as they seem to specialize in these 8-bit model games. I will tell you one thing though, things are going to be really, really fun for the FNAF story and of course the FNAF franchise in general this year. Seeing as it's been rumored that FNAF 2, the movie, could actually be filmed at least starting this year, 2024 as well. And not to mention, they just brought to life one of the scariest, and I repeat, scariest animatronic creatures in Pit Spring Bonnie. I mean, things are going to get really intense here, guys, and I'm excited for it as well. Now, go ahead and comment down below some of the things that you're excited, not only for this game, seeing as it's going to be absolutely insane, but also the future of FNAF. Are you excited about the movie? Are you excited about the new books that will be coming out this year? Or just the fact that we finally get a cool official game for Pit Spring Bonnie to wreak havoc in? And one thing that I do want to point out about the trailer itself is that if you go back to the scene where the little boy is looking at the pit, which is actually where I think the game is started, and maybe be a little bit jumbled as far as the timeline for the trailer goes, but you'll see that is your dad that you were speaking to, not a maintenance man. And your dad says, "What were you thinking hiding in that nasty old thing? Didn't you hear me calling you?" So that means that Alec, which I believe is the boy's name in the book, has fallen into the pit itself, or at least was hiding in it, as his dad says, before he went back into the past. And like I was telling you guys earlier, I'm pretty sure he brought this Pit Spring Bonnie from the past into the future, which is this new pizzeria called Jeff's Pizzeria. But what makes this even more insane is the fact that not only did this boy bring back Pit Spring Bonnie, but you'll notice Pit Spring Bonnie doesn't kill his father. Instead, he drags him, pulls him back into the pit, into the past. Or at least, that's what I think is happening here. So, the fact that Pit Spring Bonnie didn't actually kill Alec's father means, at least I sure think it means, that we're going to be spending the majority of the game trying to save Alec's father and making right our mistakes as far as bringing this horrible creature back into the future. I'm assuming that Alex's dad might serve as some type of janitor or repairman or maintenance man, just the way he's dressed. And it looks like the restaurant was not in business, especially as you can see, it looks like the lights go in and out, but absolutely insane how freaky an 8-bit version of Spring Bonnie can look. Am I right about that, or am I the only one who's getting the absolute creepiest vibes? Just the way that he pulls in the dad into that pit is so creepy. And not to mention the little jump scare that they tried to provide right before he does it. I mean, geez, those teeth look insane. I also like how they added like a little heartbeat monitor. The last time I saw something like that, it kind of reminds me of like a Resident Evil, and I'm assuming that little heartbeat monitor will go yellow and then red when you are about to die in game, of course. So obviously, guys, there's a lot of big updates. This is going to be an absolutely insane release, and I cannot wait for it, and hopefully you guys are just as stoked as I am. Now, if you are, do me a big favor. This is the place to be for FNAF updates just like this. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and like I said before, comment down below your favorite, and I mean favorite part of this year when it comes to the FNAF universe. So thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace out!